Rare wildlife sightings aren't just luck, they're a science. Stick around, and you'll discover how pros always seem to be in the right place at the right time. Asterisk, rare wildlife sightings may seem like luck, but experienced wildlife lovers know it's anything but. Let's explore the 7 strategies that turn ordinary trips into unforgettable encounters. Strategy 7. Research, research, research. Let's start with the foundation. Research. If you've ever tried spotting a rare animal without any prior knowledge, you know how frustrating it can be. You wander into the wild, scan the trees, and see nothing. Experienced wildlife lovers know this is the stage where most people fail. 1. Why research matters. Research is more than just knowing an animal exists. It's about studying patterns, habitats, feeding behavior, migration routes, and even seasonal changes. Example: the elusive snow leopard in the Himalayas moves along precise ridgelines during specific months. Without research, you could hike for days and never see 1.2. Tools for research, books and field guides. Learn about local species, tracks and vocalizations. Apps like iNaturalist or eBird. See recent sightings submitted by fellow wildlife enthusiasts. Online wildlife forums. Local trackers often post invaluable tips. Point 3. Practical research. Tips: check the time of year migration, mating, and birthing seasons all affect visibility. Study topography. Animals often follow rivers, ridges, and trails. Identify feeding sites, fruit trees, waterholes, or hunting grounds. 4. Story example: a wildlife researcher spent months studying satellite imagery of the Amazon rainforest before venturing in. He tracked likely jaguar paths using both terrain data and local reports. On his first morning in the jungle, he spotted a jaguar drinking at a hidden riverbend, proof that research is the ultimate shortcut. 5. Mini tip. Pro tip: create a simple wildlife notebook. Record species, locations, weather, and sighting times. Over weeks and months, patterns will emerge, patterns that could turn a frustrating trip into an unforgettable encounter. 6. Mistakes to avoid. Skipping local knowledge. You could study maps and guides endlessly, but ignoring locals often leads to missed sightings. Overplanning. Research is essential, but leaving no room for flexibility can backfire. Animals are unpredictable. Transition line to next strategy. Now that you've armed yourself with research, the next step might seem obvious, but most beginners overlook it. Timing. And when it comes to wildlife, timing isn't just everything. It's the difference between seeing an animal or going home empty-handed. Asterisk strategy 6. Timing is everything. Timing isn't just about showing up, it's about showing up at the right moment. Experienced wildlife lovers don't wander aimlessly into forests or savannas. They plan their trips around when animals are most active, when migration is happening, and even according to the weather. Let's break this down. 1. Understanding animal activity patterns. Diurnal, nocturnal, and crepuscular animals. Diurnal equals active during the day. Elephants. Deer. Nocturnal equals active at night. Owls. Pangolins. Crepuscular equals active at dawn, dusk. Foxes. Tigers. Many big cats. Example: photographers hoping to capture leopards in Africa often arrive before sunrise. Leopards are most active in early morning and late afternoon, hunting or patrolling their territory. Point 2. Seasonal timing. Many rare sightings depend on seasons. Breeding season. Animals are more visible and active. Migration season. Birdwatchers and mammal enthusiasts know exact windows for peak movement. Food availability. Animals congregate near certain trees, rivers, or feeding grounds during specific months. 3. Weather and environmental factors. Rain, temperature, wind, and moonlight all affect wildlife movement. Example: snow leopards are more likely to descend from high ridges when there's fresh snowfall. Prey is easier to track. Rain can make animals seek shelter, but it also concentrates them near water sources, creating rare observation opportunities. 4. Practical tips for timing. Track sunrise and sunset times. Aim for early mornings or late afternoons. Use wildlife apps to check recent sightings by date. Avoid extreme weather unless it's known to trigger predictable animal behavior. 5. Story example: a birdwatcher in Alaska wanted to see the rare yellow-billed loon. She monitored the migration calendar and arrived 2 weeks before the birds were expected. On day 5, at 6:30 a.m., she spotted the loons feeding in a hidden lagoon, proof that precise timing is everything. 6. Common mistakes. Showing up at midday in hot climates. Animals hide and remain inactive. Ignoring seasonal patterns. Species appear and disappear with astonishing precision. Transition to next strategy. Timing matters, but knowing when to be there isn't enough if you don't understand what the animal is doing when you arrive. That's where the next strategy comes in: learning animal behavior. Strategy 5. Learn animal behavior. You can spend hours in the forest without seeing anything if you don't know how animals behave. Experienced wildlife lovers treat observation like a science. They don't just look, they interpret. 1. Signs of animal presence. Tracks and footprints. Size, gait, and freshness tell a story. Scat and feeding marks reveal diet, recent activity, and location. Broken branches, flattened grass, or scent markers, clues to movement and territory. 2. Behavioral patterns, predators, and prey. Understanding hunting and escape behavior. Territorial patterns. Animals often follow predictable patrol routes. Daily routines, feeding times, rest periods, and social interactions. 3. Observation techniques. Keep a wildlife notebook. Record species, times, weather, behavior, and location. Take photos for later analysis of behavior. Compare historical data with current observations to spot trends. 4. Mini tip. Pay attention to subtle signs. A few broken branches or a faint track in mud can lead you to the rarest animals in the area. 5. Story example. A wildlife tracker in India noticed broken grass and fresh footprints near a watering hole. By patiently observing, he was able to spot a pangolin feeding, one of the rarest mammals to see in the wild, usually active at night and almost invisible to casual observers. 6. Mistakes to avoid. Ignoring subtle signs because they seem insignificant. Moving too fast and alerting animals before you can interpret behavior. Transition to next strategy. Now that you understand behavior, it's time to amplify your skills with a little help from technology, without disturbing the wildlife. Strategy 4. Use technology wisely. Technology is a double-edged sword in wildlife observation. Too much intrusion, and you scare away the animals. Too little, and you miss opportunities. Experienced wildlife lovers know exactly how to use tech to their advantage. 1. Trail and remote cameras, placed along game trails, water holes, or feeding sites. Capture nocturnal activity without human presence. Tips. Camouflaging cameras, checking placement angles, and using infrared for night shots. 2. GPS tracking and satellite tools tracking. Large mammals or tagged birds helps anticipate movement. Combining GPS data with terrain maps increases efficiency. 3. Wildlife apps and digital research tools. eBird, iNaturalist, or local wildlife databases for recent sightings. Weather apps to predict activity based on rainfall, temperature, and wind. 4. Mini tip. Tech should complement your natural observation skills, not replace them. Use apps, cameras, and GPS to guide your eyes, not do the watching for you. 5. Story example. A Himalayan expedition used trail camera footage for weeks to track a snow leopard. The footage revealed its preferred ridge path. On the day they ventured out, the cat appeared exactly where predicted, demonstrating the perfect marriage of patience and technology. 6. Common mistakes. Relying solely on technology and ignoring signs of the animal. Overusing cameras or apps, which may disturb sensitive species. Transition to next strategy. You can have perfect timing, perfect research, and the best gadgets, but if you're too noticeable in the wild, animals won't cooperate. That's where blending in comes in. Asterisk, and there you have it. The 7 strategies that experienced wildlife lovers use to turn rare sightings from pure luck into almost predictable experiences. Research, timing, learning animal behavior, using technology wisely, blending into nature, traveling with locals, and patience. Each one of these isn't just a tip, it's a mindset. A way of approaching the wild with respect, curiosity, and preparation. Think about it for a moment. Every rare sighting you've ever dreamed of, whether it's a snow leopard on a Himalayan ridge, a pangolin in the dense jungles of India, or a herd of elephants quietly gathering at a hidden watering hole, these moments don't just happen. They're the result of careful planning, observation, and patience. And yes, a little bit of luck, but, as any experienced wildlife lover will tell you, luck favors the prepared. Remember that research is the foundation. Knowing where to look, when to go, and what signs to follow can turn days of wandering into minutes of awe-inspiring observation. Timing is everything. Showing up at the right moment, during the right season, in the right conditions, can make all the difference. And understanding animal behavior, well, that's like having a secret map to the wild. Tracks, footprints, feeding marks, calls, and signs in the environment, they're all clues the animals leave behind. If you know how to read them, technology, when used wisely, is your ally. Trail cameras, GPS tracking, and observation apps can reveal the hidden lives of animals without disturbing them. But never forget that no gadget replaces the experience of seeing the wild through your own eyes.